I'm Zack Miller. That's Martin Cook, and we're back for an episode of Westeros Unsolicited, and we're going to talk about episode 4 of A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. And boy, this was something else. It was a little bit longer than the last couple weeks have been. I think it's the second longest episode of the first season, and yeah, you want to just take us through some of the plot points before we get into it, Martin?
Sure. So yeah, just quickly, we start with Dunk in a cell after he struck Aerion Targaryen last week, and then in comes Egg, who's very sorry for lying to him, but Egg's all dressed up in his courtly Targaryen gear, um, and then um, and then he's brought before Baelor Targaryen, who's the heir to the Iron Throne. And he basically is trying to suss out. He keeps asking him, "How good a knight are you?" Because he tells him that,
And the hand of the king, by the way.
yes, that's right. Yeah. And tells him basically that one of his options is he could take the punishment, which basically means losing a limb or two, or or he could ask for trial by combat. So brought before the all the lords, Dunk does that, and Arion wants to decline when he's told he can't, he invokes trial by seven, which is his father doesn't know what the fuck it is, but that's kind of funny. So that means that Dunk's got to find some six other knights to fight with him.
Assemble the team.
Yes, in this trial by seven. And the first one, surprisingly, to volunteer is Sir Stefan Fossaway, who has seemed like kind of a dick up to this point, but he's the first one to step forward, so that seems good. And and then he says he's going to get some other knights. They have a hard time doing that. Dunk gets his new shield, which is fantastic and has been painted by the girl that he saved that put him in this situation. She's now disappeared, luckily, because her life is kind of forfeit at this point, and she's pissed off to Dorne. It's a smart thing for her to do. And anyway, Dunk arrives for this challenge, and it seems like he's only got six. And then Sir Stefan shows his true colors. He is a dick. He switches to the other side. So now Arion's got his seven, including three members of the Kingsguard, and Dunk's only got five. So he gets six because the younger Fossaway kid tells him to knight him right then and there, and any knight can make a knight. It turns out that it's actually the Laughing Storm who ends up knighting him. And so who's going to be the seventh? That's the big thing. He calls for any lord with any honor, and nobody, well, one person stands up, but then just to rip a big fart. Uh, but nobody seems to step forward, and it seems like all is lost for Dunk until the gates are sort of kicked open and a knight rides in. And who is it? But none other than Baelor himself, who says that he'll fight with Dunk. So very exciting stuff.
Man, yeah, I just overall, I love this show more and more every week.
Me too.
Seriously, it is really I mean, House of the Dragon, I still really like it, but it has its issues.
Mm.
But this is just a absolutely pitch perfect adaptation of George R. R. Martin's world.
Okay.
And
Oh, the world.
man,
Yeah.
and not just the world, but of the Duncan Egg tales.
Mhm.
And yeah, it's just so refreshing because I haven't felt this feeling after watching an episode of Westerosi TV, the Westerosi network, I guess, since maybe like season 6 of Game of
Yeah.
Thrones.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it just nothing wrong with it. I mean, it is a fantastic episode of television, and I know we're getting only like between 30 to 40 minute like bite-sized episodes, and it's kind of just teasing out this whole thing through 6 episodes about this tournament, and now this trial by seven, this trial by combat for Dunk for his life, and basically the honor of the little people.
Hmm.
And Yeah, there's just so much about this episode that I absolutely love. Baelor Targaryen was an amazing character. Oh God, just the opening scene with Egg when he's crouching in the corner, like he comes,
Yeah,
yeah, like, as you said, he comes in with his Targaryen regalia, but
yeah,
then he just sits down in the corner, like
yeah.
shrugs his shoulders, and he's just like, how can you be mad at
No, he's so
that?
sweet because he's so sorry for lying to Dunk, and Dunk isn't taking it very well for,
Yeah.
for good reasons with the situation he's in. But yeah, he's Egg is it's hard to be hard to stay mad at him, which shows because Dunk then like the very next scene he's like, no, no, he's a very good boy. He wouldn't, telling his uncle Baylor that no, he's a great squire and he's a great kid, basically, which is kind of cool. Um, yeah, Baylor. So I had to double check because the only Baylor that I'd heard of before this was Baylor the Blessed, and I'm like, this isn't Baylor the Blessed, like the guy who built the Great Sept. And I checked, and no, it definitely because that didn't seem at all to be his character in this, and so clearly, yeah, this is a different Baylor. But yeah, great character. The other character I thought was fantastic was Egg's other brother, Darren, the drunkard
Mhm.
Targaryen, the
And
drunkard.
the Dreamer.
Yes, yeah, and that would actually I thought was really cool. I don't know if that's in the novellas or not, but I thought that was an interesting touch because it gives a bit more to it fleshes out his character a little bit more, that this is a guy who's kind of tormented by his dreams, and that's probably why he's in his cups all the time. So it's
Yeah.
more than just, this just stupid drunken guy. It's a guy, they flesh out the character a little bit more, which I thought was really cool. So I don't know, is that something that's in the novellas or was that a show invention that he's in?
No, it is, but one of the greatest things about this show, if not the best thing about this show, is that it's again, the novellas are novellas. They're about 150 pages long,
Right.
and this is 6 episodes at about 40 minutes apiece, and so they're able to actually flesh out the characters more rather
Mhm.
than condense it like they do, like they were forced to do in Game of Thrones,
Yeah.
and also kind of forced to do in House of the Dragon. Although not to that much extent because that was based on like a fake history book.
Yeah.
It wasn't like an actual novel.
Yeah.
So like they found this like happy medium where they're able to just be completely faithful to the novellas, but at the same time expand it
Mm,
and give us even more insight into these characters, which has never been an aspect of any fantasy. I think, like, I mean, you look at Lord of the Rings or Narnia or anything, and then everything has to be always condensed because all those worlds are so well realized, but just so long and so elaborate. So,
yeah.
yeah, that's one of the main reasons why I've absolutely fallen in love with this show.
Yeah, another thing that I really love about this show is they make these little moments seem so meaningful. Like that scene with Dunk and the armorer when he's getting
Oh,
his
yeah.
shield
Yeah,
and
the Hell's Angels guy.
yeah, 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 the massive armor. I'm like, man, get that guy on your team. But he's it's just this little thing. He's just going to pick up this thing that he ordered, kind of. But there's so much meaning put into that Dunk's almost kind of tearing up in a way because he sees his kind of image for his house or not his house, but for him on his shield,
Mm,
and the guy has made his shield better and basically fixed it and made it stronger and put new metal around it and isn't really going to charge him much because Dunk actually stood up for one of the little people, like, and it's just this quiet little moment, but it seems so meaningful in that moment that's another thing that the show is doing really well with these quieter, smaller moments.
yeah, and that's when the Westerosi universe has always been at its best.
True.
It's
Yeah.
it's just a conversation between one character and another, or a couple characters in a room. Like, yeah, there's all this spectacle with the dragons and the giant battle scenes, and like I love the Battle of the Bastards and the Battle of the spoils of war and all that kind of shit. because I'm just a fantasy nerd. But what sets this apart, this whole world apart, is that it's so character driven.
Hmm.
And this, more than Game of Thrones or House of the Dragon, really just brings that out.
Yeah.
It's because and this that excuse me, this episode in particular just brings out all the like the family dynamics with the Targaryens and um all that kind of stuff. And yeah, George R. R. Martin is a fantastic world builder, but at its heart, I think what sets him apart from other fantasy writers is that he's just a better even a better character builder than he is a world builder. So I just the like the scenes between just two characters just talking, there's no dragons, there's no dire wolves, there's
Yeah.
no battles or anything. We haven't had a battle this
No.
entire season, and we're building up to it next week for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, because you can't be bereft of battles in this world. But
Yeah.
even that, it's just 14 people. It's 7-on-7
Right.
next
Right.
week. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, that's another thing. There's just, man, yeah, I am so stoked on this series so far.
Yeah. So the end of this episode kind of had two little turns. I wouldn't even call them full twists. One I definitely saw coming, and the other actually surprised me. So the one I saw coming was Sir Raymond getting knighted,
Mm,
the younger Fossaway. From the moment, I mean, I kind of figured he was going to fight anyway. I'd sort of forgotten that he wasn't a full knight, but then the moment that he mentions that at the beginning of the episode. Well, at least I'm not gonna have to fight because I'm not a knight. I'm like, okay, he's gonna get knighted. So that one I saw coming. I did not actually see Baelor being the seventh. I was
mm,
wondering like who's gonna be the seventh? Who's gonna be the seventh? And after it happened, it made sense in terms of the way the show worked because he was the only knight of any significance that we had met who wasn't kind of already involved.
mm.
But in the moment, I didn't expect it to be him. I didn't see it coming. So that was I don't know if maybe I was just an idiot and everybody saw it coming, but I thought
No,
that
I guarantee that's not true.
but I thought they did a really good job of that, of kind of
Yeah, yeah,
his
so did I.
reveal.
And yeah, God, there's so much in this episode too. Like, there's so much packed into this episode. I think we knew that Lionel Baratheon, the Laughing Storm, was just gonna like fuck it.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, he's just
And
gonna.
we didn't even really see him make the decision. He was just kind of there. He's
Exactly,
like, "Oh yeah,
exactly.
the young kid points to egg. He told me to come." It's like, "Oh,
But yeah, Raymond Fossaway is like the best friend anybody could have. Like,
yeah,
I mean, he's just so endlessly loyal. Like, he's just hiding behind a tree in a downpour of rain, just watching over Dunk's horses, and he
yeah,
just pops out. And then they have this like really big embrace. It wasn't just like a bro, like, yo, what up?
yeah.
Dap up. No, it's like, oh, thank you so much for watching my horse.
It's like, Doug, you're still alive. Yeah,
Yeah. And man, the guy that plays Arian is such a dick, like
yeah,
giving off total Viserys Targaryen vibes
yeah,
from Game of Thrones, Joffrey vibes,
yeah.
just a titled prick and a coward, just a total coward.
Well, yeah, and that's like yeah, that was a cool little thing that they added for him to be like, no, I'm gonna decline this trial by combat. So yeah, it's not that he's just this tough bad guy he's obviously a little insecure as well. So just a little added uh, tint to his character, which I think was
Mhm.
pretty good.
But I have to give it to him. He and his horse have the coolest armor I've ever seen in my
They do,
life.
they do, yeah. Laughing Storm's armor looked pretty good, but yeah, no, Arian's definitely looks the coolest. And then we got that
So
guy who we had seen in one brief scene. We haven't really heard much about him or who he is, except that he's supposedly a legend who also joins Dunk's team, the guy with one eye,
yeah, yeah.
with the eye patch. So I can't wait to see what he's got in him. If he's this, he's obviously older, but if he's supposed to be this kind of legendary knight, that should be fun to see him in action next week.
Yeah, I love that Dunk's team is like the Bad News Bears. Like he's got a guy with a broken leg who can only fight as long as he's on a horse.
Yeah, yeah. And then we're gonna have two brothers going at it because of the two senior
Mm,
Targaryens are gonna be on opposite sides.
yeah, and then two cousins. We've got the green apple Fossaway and the red apple Fossaway.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. And Sir Stefan, yeah, definitely a definitely a big dick. One thing on Baelor's entrance there at the very end. Now, I've mentioned before a few times that I didn't like the use of the Game of Thrones theme in House of the Dragon as a theme because I wanted it to, distinguish itself as its own show and have a different
Mhm.
theme song. I did not mind it in this moment. In
No,
this,
no, no.
it fit perfectly. The kind of the moment he bursts in and says, "I'll stand with Sir Dunk," and then in Sir Duncan, and then that music swells. I was like, okay, that's a good place for it. I like,
Yeah, because House of the Dragons, the opening, it's just a total rip off, like where
yeah,
we're going through King's Landing, and it's still cool and all, but I like that there's just no theme song for the Night of the Seven Kingdoms,
yeah. There's that
and
little whistle theme that we've heard a few times, but that's not really the theme song.
yeah,
They just put the
exactly.
title up, but there's no music to go along with it.
And I think it fits perfectly with just Dunk's character
Yeah.
because he's not a guy that has a theme song, you know.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, you're right. No, that is very appropriate.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so I mean, he just wandered around trying to do his best, but in that moment, that's where he becomes like a true knight,
yeah,
and then he does like the whole like Braveheart speech or walking the horse back and forth, and
yeah,
yeah, it ends in a fart, but at the very end, obviously Baylor comes in and kind of saves the day, at least for the moment. At least he's able to fight. He doesn't have to lose a hand and a foot,
yeah,
but yeah, it was so rousing. I definitely got goosebumps at the end
yeah,
of the episode.
yeah. Me too. Yeah,
Let's see.
I think that's about it for my notes. Anything?
Yeah, we
Any other final
talked
thoughts?
about okay. We talked about the Laughing Storm. Talked about Baylor. Um. Oh. How about Arian just being a total dick and making that guy chase his walnut under the table?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Just these extra little touches just to make them that more despicable, that much more despicable. Yeah, it's they do a really good job of these little kind of like character quirks for sure. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, oh yeah, well, I had one other note just at the very beginning where the opening scene is Dunk in a cell, and I'm like, well, Game of Thrones universe has had good luck with episodes that begin with people in cells. I mean, usually it's Tyrion in like the Sky Cell or in King's Landing or whatever, but episodes that have people in cells generally are pretty good episodes. So,
Ironically enough, episode 9 of the first season of Game of Thrones is called Baelor, and that's when Ned Stark gets killed, and it
that's
opens
right.
up with him in a
With Ned in the
cell.
cell. You're
Wow.
right.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. We have
But that
yeah.
would have been
Okay.
the other Baylor, the Baylor of the Blessed, because that's supposed to
Yes.
be in this.
Who went crazy and walked through a bunch of scorpions trying to get to Dorne, and just because he wanted to bang his sister so much that he felt shame, so he walked through scorpions. So yeah, definitely not this Baylor, but
No, no.
but yeah, I mean the cast is amazing. The characters are all so well realized, even though again we only have like 38 minutes per episode,
Yeah,
and yeah, just I cannot wait. I mean, I know what's gonna happen, but I cannot wait to see how they realize it next week.
yeah, yeah. I'm very much looking forward to it as well. All right.
Any
Well,
since you haven't read the books, any predictions for how the tournament's gonna or how the trial by combat's gonna end?
well, the assumption would be that it's going to come down to, because I still don't entirely understand the rules, but I assume at some point it'll just come down to Dunk versus Arian. Now, what happens after that, I'm not sure. There was a little bit of dreaming going on, the little bit of prediction from Darren, the drunken Targaryen there, but I don't know what to take from that, where he said that this big dragon will be dead on top of him. So yeah, I don't really have too many predictions. I'm just kind of sitting back and enjoying it at this point.
Good. Okay. Yeah. That's another thing that George R. R. Martin is always good at is making prophecies that are so on point, but at the same time vague to where they're just frustrating.
Right. Yeah.
So like if you don't know what's already going to happen afterward, then it's just like pointless because all the characters that have prophecies made about them, if it's whether it's Cersei or Daenerys or anybody, is just like it's almost a burden to have this prophecy made about you because you're just trying to figure that out the entire time, and it's a fruitless effort for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, for my money, this is definitely the best episode of the series,
Oh, for sure. Yeah, no, this was, as you said, a couple times sort of goosebumps, and yeah, this was great.
and it looks like next week's going to be even better. And that's on par with the whole Game of Thrones House of the Dragon formula because the penultimate episode is always the best,
That's true. Yeah.
and then the
Or at least
last
always
episode,
the sort of biggest and like most expansive.
yeah, and then the last episode is always kind of a wrap up, and we'll tuck all our favorite characters in, and we'll see them next year.
Yeah.
And with that, we'll tuck all you guys in, and we'll see you next week. Yeah, we're releasing this on a Saturday because weirdly this came out at 3 a.m. Eastern. This episode came out at 3 a.m. Eastern on a Saturday, on a Friday. Sorry.
Friday, Friday. Yeah.
Yeah, to avoid conflict with both the Olympic opening ceremony and the Super Bowl, of course, on Sunday. Uh, but we'll be back in regularly scheduled next Sunday for I forgot what the episode's called next week.
I think it's in the mother, something about mother. Yeah, I can't remember. I have the list somewhere. But
All right. Well, yep. And anyway, we'll see you next week. Hope you enjoyed the episode. I'm Zach Miller. He's Martin Cooke. See you next week on Unsolicited Westeros or Westeros Unsolicited. And also, we're going to be doing a Valentine's Day special this coming Thursday, which will probably be released on Friday. So we'll see you then.
bye, everyone.